Hey, here we are. We are live. Welcome to New Comic Book Day Book Club. My name is Alec. I run a channel called Whitewell Comics, but you probably already know that because you're here watching it on my channel. With me, as always, is a goofball named John from
That's
John's
me.
Comics with Kids.
Although you're the one that just started this show off with the Fonz. Hey!
I didn't elbow a jukebox to make it work. And joining us, I'm very honored to welcome TJ the Slab Dragon Watson.
Yeah. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm kind of a little nervous. I'm not sure what I was supposed to bring to the show. Is this actually something that's required for this show?
Oh,
with the jokes.
Panda, get ready. That's a riot.
Speaking of which, I want to welcome some people to the chat. Comic Books NYC was in here at the jump. Jeffrey Comic Con also was here early on, chatting it up. Wing Nut, I got issues, of course. Who else we got? Stonecutter Cam, who just gave us a shout out on Instagram. Thank you very much, Stonecutter. Kachung, Daymares, Chris Barrett, Poor Mike, JD, Flaming Sheila, Comics Misexplained, Bake the Snake, Mr. Garrel, Barbarian Kung Fu. Thank you all so much for joining. Rockshank just joined us as well. Great. I think that's everyone.
Yeah.
Today.
And we did jump the gun. I know JD was really pumped that he's got this show coming up, Stranger Things. Is it next week, I think, right? With TJ?
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. Next Tuesday. So we did like jump the gun a little bit on this, but we'll all make sure we're tuned in next week for JD's show with TJ, looking at off the beaten trail books, right? Unusual books.
Yes.
See, but it was our plan all along not to jump ahead of JD, but to let TJ, get some more experience in front of the camera, doing live stuff, so that it goes as well as possible.
Or have the true first.
Good plan.
Yeah. And have the true first. So everybody wins.
Although everybody in the Comic Corps was like, guys, TJ's been on the Comic Corps.
Yeah.
Like we have the true first over here.
Yeah. I was on Tales from the Batcave the last episode too.
Oh well.
Ooh.
So then this is like Transformers number 3, third appearance of the black costume.
Yes. Marvel team up.
Marvel team up. Yeah. That's a tie. Yeah. That's very confusing. Today we're talking about a comic book, by the way. We're talking about Daredevil 1 by Chip Zdarsky and an artist named Chicheko, which TJ and I were discussing that we were not familiar with.
Yeah.
So I bought this A cover because I thought it was actually the best one, even out of the variants.
I agree on that.
I was just telling John, I did see the Delato and the Malieve covers for sale, and liked them both, but not enough to spend more than cover when this cover by Tedesco, right? Totino Tedesco, just slam dunk.
It's a great one, and we were chatting beforehand about the first issues and how a lot of times when they've rebooted a story enough times, the first issues kind of lose a huge value. So I just went with the one that I was most entertained by. So I'm definitely at our house. The Scotty Young love keeps coming.
There you go, Barbarian Kung Fu.
Barbarian, we definitely went with the Scotty Young here, and my girls saw it. And it's even got, I love that it's even got the lowercase Daredevil, like the 2 D's on his chest are lowercase. The whole thing about it just cracks me up.
JD said the artist did many Young Guns covers, so I guess I looked him up. I didn't see anything that really jumped out as being anything I was overly familiar with. So to start with the art, I thought he did a great job. I thought Let me open this up and actually show a couple of pages.
That splash page is good.
Yeah, so the artist is Marco, what did you say, Cicchetto? Marco Cicchetto? I don't. Yeah. And this, for those that haven't read it, those that didn't pick it up, the story tends to jump around, almost page to page, different places, different time frames. There's a lot of movement.
First of all, this panel I thought was just really cool with the shadow from the window over his eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a clever little touch. But his action shots where he has, like, is that the splash page you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Every time there's like a Daredevil flying through the air, like this one, awesome. Yeah. Really well done.
And it reminds me of the Bendis Mac stuff, which is the stuff that I've loved most in the modern Daredevil runs, like the post Frank Miller kind of stuff. I haven't had a whole lot of Daredevil stories that I was as passionate about as the Michael Bendis run, and some of that Mac artwork in there, or is it Maleev? Sorry, Maleev.
Yeah, Maleev.
Just really, really great stuff.
Yeah, Alex Maleev is a tremendous artist, for sure. But,
for me, it reminded me of the style that Gil Kane used to draw him with in the 70s.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that totally. Charlie made a sign, by the way. You want to tell everybody what they do?
It says subscribe.
Yeah. So this is White Whale's channel, but I'm sure TJ's link is somewhere listed. So make sure we sub up TJ.
Subscribe to every single person here.
Okay, we will.
And so is yours, John. I was generous enough to put yours in the.
Wow, that was so nice of you this time.
I just hit 300.
Hey,
right.
Congratulations.
Milestones all over the place. So what was your before getting into the plot, what was your opinions on the book?
I thought it was very familiar for some reason. It's like it's been done before. The direction is going to, he's recovering, he's punishing himself.
Sure.
And the thing with setting him up to be arrested in the future, it seems that it's been done before.
Isn't that the kind of the life of a Catholic, though?
Yeah, but
not to be arrested, but to constantly be.
The guilt thing is
yes,
always, and it seems like this deja vu that I've seen this before.
Now, I did read the final Death of Daredevil run, which I very much enjoyed. I also bought the second prints of them because it has this really cool Vigil cover. I did not read the miniseries in between, though. I don't know if either of you gentlemen did.
Was that the Man Without Fear?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I haven't read any of it.
I did enjoy it. It just seemed familiar.
Sure. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I was lost as to, spoiler alert, in the Death of Daredevil storyline. He dies at the end. And so I didn't know how he is now alive. So I didn't know if anyone, either you guys or anyone in the chat, knew how that transpired, how we got from point A to point B.
I don't. I did not know. I mean, I didn't read any of the background material. I haven't read much since, the Mark Waid days. It's been a long time since I even joked, like, I like Daredevil a lot. Clearly, I've collected a lot of his stuff, but it's been a long time since I got a Daredevil book off the shelf.
Yeah, I would not agree because I bought those, but prior to that run, I had not been reading in quite a while. They're Never Truly Dead. Yeah, that's true. Whopped bird. But they usually have, he's Catholic, he was resurrected. Chris Barrett said. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought, honestly, like I could have done without the flashbacks. Like I would have gotten it without them. Like I would have gotten it. You know what I mean? I would have gotten it. I thought they were a little heavy-handed, but the present day story I thought was pretty. I agree. It was familiar. Wasn't like groundbreaking, but I just liked the voice it was told in, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was also kind of borrowed on Daredevil season 3 on Netflix too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely saw a little bit of that, and yeah, some of the Daredevil tropes that we've seen from the past of the Kingpin back in a place of power, trying to manipulate the world around Daredevil, trying to find his way back to the crime fighter he always wanted to be, and the purpose for being a crime fighter, and yeah, it did remind me a lot of Daredevil stories I had read before. I think that's a great way to describe it.
Misexplained said he got hit by a car and just rehabilitated in the hospital really slowly while his fear tried to hold him back. Didn't miss much. So yeah, I knew he got hit by the car in the Death of Daredevil run, but at the end it makes you at least think that he's dead. But so interesting. JD said he really liked the interactions with the priest. I didn't dislike them. I just thought that, I don't know, I was kind of like waiting for the next page to see what was happening in like present day myself.
Yeah, I would say overall, you know, the issue never like disappointed me in the sense that there were no huge issues with the artwork being confusing, what was happening, or the story being a lot of boring exposition, which we've discussed on a lot of first issues.
My favorite thing. And
instead, I felt like they really did a service to the character and all these things. There was no elements that shocked, surprised, or made me lean in with excitement and curiosity.
I was excited at one thing. It didn't end with a reveal of a villain.
Well, the villain is all the way through. This is Daredevil. He's always pulling strings, right?
Yeah. I was so glad to flip to the last page and be like, oh, there's a different twist than, hey, here's a big splash page of a villain. I mean, spoilers as always, but the twist is that he had been fighting some robbers, some thieves, and he looks like he accidentally killed one of them. Right.
Or caused his eventual death. Yeah.
Yes, right. From a head injury. So it kind of set up something more interesting where, you know, it is that whole thing of like the Catholic guilt. It is the whole thing of vigilante justice, and you know, some of the common tropes that you have seen, but like it kept me entertained all the way through. I find myself a lot of times, especially with more current superhero stuff, turning the page and seeing a bunch of text and just being like, I'm done with this book. But what's that?
I said totally. I felt that way many times with the number ones that we've been reading.
Yeah, where it's just like, I'm not into this at all. But yeah, I don't know. This kept me going the whole way through. So, hey, a book I liked.
Yeah, I liked it too. And
I feel like I've been really dumping on books recently.
My favorite line in the book, though, is still, don't let my disability become your fetish.
Yeah, that was great. I actually really liked their whole interaction when she was like, it doesn't matter if I'm pretty because I'm still beautiful. I thought that was, you know, very kind of interesting take on a lot of things. You know, most obviously what we value in kind of interactions a lot of times is, you know, this external presentation. Joe Ryan Comics says Zdarsky has definitely improved at his time in Marvel when he first got there. Yeah. A buddy of mine, I was talking to him about Zdarsky today. And he's like, I don't know why they keep throwing big books at him. He keeps kind of letting them down. Like I said, I thought he did a nice job on this book. Didn't change the game, but
Daredevil and a Priest, you know, and him as a kid with the Priest, there was a lot of moments when it could have seemed boring. It could have been flat out boring. And I never felt, as much as it felt like, I think TJ mentioned earlier, as much as it didn't necessarily feel original in a lot of ways, it never bored. Like I was never like, okay, next page. Like I was interested to read, you know, the interactions every time.
JD said almost the best introduction in the bar, and he orders a Macallan's 12. I don't know anything about alcohol, so John, you'll have to tell me if that's good or not. It's Legacy 613. Chris.
Now, was that a preview of the cover number 2 on the at the end of the? Yeah,
gorgeous cover.
This sorry, right here, this one.
Yes.
With the radiating sonar.
That was really nice. I think it's the same cover artist that did this one.
Yeah, so. Deska.
What has he done before that? I'm not familiar with him at all.
He did that Harley Quinn variant that everyone's nuts about, didn't he? Of 57.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think he's going to be one of the new up and comers for the cover artists.
Yeah, now that Matina has unofficially been retired.
Really, he's retired?
Well, there's a whole scandal with him copying other people's work.
But I thought that would blow over pretty fast.
I don't know. As far as I heard, he was fired from DC, but that might not be the case. And he's already been fired from Marvel once, so I mean, I guess he could go to Image. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, retired Cassie. Correct me if I'm wrong about him doing that Harley Quinn cover, but I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, I think he's. I mean, just from those 2 Daredevil covers, even if he didn't do the Harley, he did Spawn covers. Daymare says. Oh no, Matina does Spawn covers. Yes.
Because when you can do a cover that looks better than the Del Auto variant, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was not the best Del Auto piece I've ever seen, but still, like, just to say, like, I topped Del Auto this month, that's no small feat. He did Harley 57. Thank you, Cassie. That book, I saw that in a shop for $50 this weekend. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yikes.
Yeah, especially because it's still on eBay for like 22. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's beside the point. It's that book's off the charts, and I wish I had gotten it the week it came out. But be that as it may,
NYC says he's hiring Matina to do his 4th of July party invitations this summer. There was a character I had to look up that I was curious about. This new police detective. Have you heard of him before?
I have not.
They're setting him up to be somebody. This North, where is it? Detective Cole North. This big bruiser guy who comes in to basically run an investigation on Daredevil and this his first sort of night back.
I love how he calls out the Weasley cop by saying, like, oh, you're the guy known for not making a lot of busts but taking a lot of nice vacations.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good line. Chris Barrett said he saw it on eBay for $40 an hour ago. I just saw it buy it now for like 27. So, I mean, I think it's kind of still all over the place, but you can get it for cheaper than 50 for sure. Isn't he facing brutality charges? Who, Daredevil? Yeah, I think they're trying to, Fisk has this whole arresting vigilantes thing going on. So, you know, they're looking for any excuse, and not that killing someone is not an the new cop is facing brutality charges. Really, I don't know who he is. I'm not familiar with his character.
Yeah, I want to say this might have been one of his first appearances, because I even did a Google search just to see like comic book characters. You know, usually Marvel's got a database for these things. I wanted to see if he was anywhere, but they didn't come up. So,
does Fisk still know that Daredevil's Matt Murdock?
That's a great question. I don't know if that got like reset in continuity somehow. I don't know how they fix that, but I'm sure they have their ways.
I feel like the last thing I read, like Fisk went blind and then he died. So like I was surprised he was alive and a mayor.
Yeah,
so
he's the mayor.
Like, that was a whole new layer for me. I was like, Fisk is alive.
Matt Murdock was mayor for a while.
He's not blind, and he's the mayor. So okay.
And have they always been calling Daredevil the Devil in Hell's Kitchen in the comic books? Because I know it was on a TV show, but I don't remember ever seeing that in the comic books.
Not as I recall, no.
Yeah, I haven't been reading it since the show came out. Fisk doesn't know I got issue said. How did he forget?
Well, he was blind and he died, so now he has sight and he's alive.
So maybe it's just that the whole recombobulated his brain.
Right?
I mean, yeah, I don't see how they could keep him knowing and have it be fair.
And is Karen Page still dead?
Karen Page, as far as I know, is still dead.
Okay.
Unless she pops up, because unlike Matt Murdock, who was not actually, I guess, ever dead, I'm pretty sure Karen Page was actually killed, right?
Well, we'll find another universe at some point.
Yeah,
or a female Daredevil.
There's infinite parallel. Yeah.
There's a female Daredevil, and it's Karen Page.
Karen Devil.
Yes.
Could be a clone. You know, Scarlet Karen Page.
It'll be I Got Issues' favorite character.
And she's got a squirrel tail. And then there'll be like a Gwen Karen and a Howard or Karen the Duck, and then Gwen Duck Karen. Yeah, out of control. Dare Page, there it is. Karen Poole, man, you guys are coming up with better names than me for these things. Dead Karen, because she is. Dazzler is almost the coolest, because you know who's the coolest. Them glasses, them shades.
Drive carefully. I Got Issues is driving in heavy rain. Don't worry about dropping gold in this chat. If you gotta be safe, be safe.
JD said Disco is not dead, it's just resting. Disco was never alive, my friend.
Gotta have soul to be alive.
Yeah, punk rock. Yeah, so I don't really have too much else to say about it. It was just like, I thought it was just solid. Made it 23 minutes before the Jubilee mention. Yes. New record.
Yeah, that is a new record.
I think I got goaded by the Dazzler comments, so it's not fair. I call a recount on that. Who had 23 minutes in the pool? I love how this is a running gag now. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know if you guys have more to say about it. I just thought it was a solid read. Enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely want to read issue 2.
Yeah, I will definitely pick up issue 2 for the cover, if nothing else, because the cover is... I like the cover for issue 2 better than the cover for issue 1, and I really like the cover for issue 1, so that's saying something.
And I'll say I probably will skip the second issue. I enjoyed this, but I'm really trying to be hard on what I'm picking up. And for me, there was no hook that really made me want to like just keep going with it. I'd honestly rather go back and read my Bendis stuff or the Miller stuff if I really just want a good Daredevil story. So I probably will skip the second issue on this one.
I've not seen the issue 2 variant. I'll have to look that up. I got issues, or send it to me on IG. I think the Brubaker run is better than the Bendis run.
A lot of people do. My LCS, they were saying the same thing. And I've got all those trades.
Yeah.
I felt like the Brubaker run started so well, but mostly because of what Bendis had set up with having Daredevil start off in jail and have to free himself, and this mystery of who is still running around in the Daredevil costume while Daredevil is locked up in prison because somebody's still out there and we don't know who.
I am
all that I really dug, but once he got out, I thought it really fizzled for me.
I definitely will admit that I am partial to Brubaker, so I'm probably I have it's not a fair comparison for me because I just hear the name and I'm like, oh, that's better. I mean, between
there's nothing wrong with that. You're talking about comparing two awesome works either way. I mean, I own all those trades for a reason.
I got issues. Imagine if Bendis wrote Squirrel Girl. Brubaker's always captivating. Yeah, I brought up Gotham Central recently. Killer, his Daredevil stuff. Obviously, everything he does with Sean Phillips is lights out for me. So issues can't make it through one chat with ragging on Bendis. Yeah, he rags on Bendis. I bring up Jubilee. We get it. Yeah, John talks about Lost. No, you pointed to it. It counts.
What? It's so good.
So let's move on to our debate topic for the week, which is which character do you think has the best original costume? So we, thought about Daredevil in his yellow costume versus his red costume, and thought about what other characters had really great original costumes compared to their latter costumes.
And I will say right off the bat, I was really good at naming the ones that I absolutely hated. I'm not a Golden Age fan as of yet. And I can look back at that early that Golden Age Flash costume where he's basically wearing a metal frisbee on his head and be like, I don't know what's happening here, but that's not a costume. He looks like he's going running.
It's the helmet of Hermes. I mean, it's classic Greek, Roman.
My daughters then would appreciate that, and I'm clearly not the one to catch that.
DS Comics says, does Grey Hulk count as original costume?
Ooh.
Yeah. Paste Pot Pete JD says, comics with Bueller and Joe Ryan both say Namor. Chris Barrett says Doctor Strange. People had these.
What's JD? What's the time? JD went 28 minutes without mentioning Paste Pot Pete.
Yeah.
Who's got that pool?
He still hasn't mentioned Two Gun Kid yet, though.
So did you have one, TJ, that you thought of?
Squirrel Girl original costume.
I like the original Moon Knight costume over the suit one he's wearing now.
Yeah. Yeah,
the white suit with the mask. I like the original costume better.
Totally. That's a great one. I didn't even think of that one. I'm a yellow and blue Wolverine guy personally. I never liked the beige and brown or whatever like that.
Funny, Jack Yo just said the exact opposite.
Nope. Jack Yo, you're wrong. I like the original Wolverine costume. That's just me.
Whiskers or no whiskers?
Always whiskers. Wolverine should be hairy in all regards.
Because the first appearance, he had those whiskers.
Yeah.
That's the only time those were ever in existence.
It got chopped off real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad they put the statue out with two heads, one with the whiskers and one without, because I used a whisker one.
Right. Well, he had much shorter little horns in the original costume, and then later it became these like beast things.
Yes.
Chris Barrett, are you talking about Western Ghost Rider or Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider? Mastodon Comics and Collecting says Havoc, great one.
Oh yeah,
original Iron Man.
Best.
DS Comics says.
Yeah, that Mark I costume was pretty wicked cool.
Joe Ryan says Danny DeVito is the next Wolverine. I'd watch that movie.
Oh man. Gotten a young Danny DeVito, I would have been so in.
I really like the original Iceman, where he just
the one where he looks like a snowman. He's kind of like folded.
This costume over the TV show.
Yes. Johnny Blaze, yeah. The original Johnny Blaze with the like old school chopper motorcycle. Really great.
If you're going like original costume to movies or TV, there's a lot more options because obviously movies and TV make huge changes to that stuff. You know,
I don't know if this counts as an original costume, but the original Shadowcat Kitty Pryde costume.
Ooh, the blue one. Yeah.
Real nice.
Didn't she have like shoulder pads and a pop collar? And
yeah, man.
It was a rockin' 80s style.
Love it. That's when I grew up. Never forget your first. So yeah, of course, mine are X-Men characters. What do you got there, TJ?
There's another Daredevil.
Oh, just no big deal.
Now, is that pronounced Khazar or Khazar?
Khazar.
All right. I had somebody at the shop trying to tell me it was Khazar, and I was like, well, I don't know how that gets to be a long K, but okay.
I got issue says the original Nightwing with the talk about pop collar. Oh,
man. Yeah. Didn't he have like a deep V, too, on rocking on that thing?
For me, throwing a Valiant character, the original Rye.
Yeah, that's a deep V right there. Look at that.
Yeah,
rocking it.
The deepest. Yeah, original Rye.
I also didn't care for the original, is it Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern costume with the like giant collar going up and he's like bright red.
For the 40s, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was funny. But you know, the second that Hal Jordan costume came in, you're like, that's what it should have been.
Yeah, both the Hal Jordan and the we were talking about the red Flash costume earlier when we were chatting about the dual Golden Age Flash. I think both of those costumes are just like those are superhero perfection to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why they've hardly ever changed in the next 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
It's like the original Wonder Woman costume. They should never mess with that, ever.
Yeah. They did. Same thing with original Spider-Man. Like, how many new suits has he gotten? But he always goes back to the red and blue because it's a masterful design. It's like, you can't beat it.
And the original Blue Beetle over the Ed Corge is his name? The one that died in Crisis?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say the newest one's Jaime Reyes.
Yeah, I like the other costume better.
Yeah. Booster Gold stayed pretty consistent, more or less. Not really, I guess. I'm just looking at my Booster Gold and like, oh, well, no, that's pretty 80s, 90s.
Somebody threw out Aquaman, which I agree. Like the original Aquaman costume, it's gone through a few iterations, but the original orange and green is solid.
Yeah.
Chris Barrett said he's gone back to the black suit, white whale. Yeah, I just mean that like every time he switches costumes, like he ends up back in the red and blue eventually.
He'll always come home again.
Yeah, but like you don't see. Oh, what about Superman, the electricity Superman?
Yeah, should
have stayed there. That's a good one.
Next, you're going to tell me that the mullet or long-haired Superman's got to come back or something.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know.
The Punisher, like with his big white boots, like the original Punisher costume, which I know they've updated it where he basically wears a T-shirt now and then SWAT gear.
Yeah, which makes so much more sense.
Logically, totally. But is it a better look? Or is it a more realistic look?
I had a mullet in junior high school.
With the beard?
Yeah, I was born with this. This is actually a false beard. It takes me quite a while to put it on every day before I shoot a video. It's a disguise. It's my panda head.
Well, you don't want to be harassed when you're out in public.
Yeah, some guy at a comic shop today was talking about how he made some video reviewing the most stuffed Oreo thing, and he's got like 2,000 views on it, and he met someone somewhere, and they were like, "Oh, I saw you in that video," and asked for his autograph. He was all like, he was over the moon with himself, and I was like, "That's cool, man." Oreo videos, who knew?
I'm in the wrong game here.
Those things look gross, by the way, if you haven't seen them. The most stuffed Oreos.
Bet it tastes good though.
They're like a double stuff Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a guy I work with took 2 of them and made like an 8er.
Oh dear God. At that point, just get a knife, scrape it off, and eat it.
Yeah, it's like get a can of frosting.
That's what I do. Just get a chocolate can of frosting in one sitting.
Yeah.
Done.
Gross. No, thank you. What are going for $40? Those cookies? Chris Barrett? You kidding me? Waiting for a response. I'm sorry.
That's
went totally silent. Yeah. What? Man, you can just make those, by buying regular double stuffs and just doubling them up. You don't need to spend $40 for.
Well, the Sonic restaurant, the burger place, just deep fried Oreos.
Oof.
Oh, sounds like fair food. You go to the fair and get that.
Yeah. I got it. She said Hydrox is all I can afford. Didn't Hydrox come before Oreo? Are we flipping cookies on eBay now? Joe Ryan says Oreo variants 1 in 50. How do we? I'm sorry, I took us down a path, man. Send those Oreos to CGC. Yeah,
people are clearly hungry in the chat.
CGC grading food now.
You can't have the slab dragon on and not talk about grading.
The most absurd deep fried thing I've ever seen is deep fried butter.
I've seen that at the fair.
I'm sure it's tasty, but it's just like, here, you want to die?
I actually had a deep fried Twinkie before.
See, that I'd be down with. That makes sense because, like, that's something that you can just deep fry, and it's already food, sort of.
Like butter?
Butter is not a food. Butter is something you put on food. It's like deep frying pasta sauce.
I deep fried salsa today.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How do you deep fry butter? I think you just cut it into pads and just, I don't know. I don't even know.
They super freeze it first and then put it in batter and deep fry.
Yeah, because you can deep fry ice cream too.
Yeah.
I was curious if anybody else. Sorry, go ahead.
Rockshank says, remove Hulk 181 from cart, replaces with 10 boxes of overstuffed Oreos. Deep fried pickles are very good, yes.
I was just curious if anybody else snagged this Tony Stark Iron Man cover today, because I usually allow myself one cover purchase a week or every other week, and I absolutely had to get this. So I didn't know if it is even cooler in person. I was curious if anybody went after this today. Because I'm hoping that the story is half as good as the cover. Because dang,
what voice should I say? That Mr. Garrell says he says these things in the same voice, like it's not weird. It's just my voice, man.
That's what makes his sarcasm all the better.
I got one.
Yourself, is this a joke or not? You don't know.
You'll never know. That's my secret. Anyway. I think we've gotten well off a track here.
Yeah, for a fact.
But still having fun. Anyway.
But this was a good week for books. I mean, I usually don't get this many, and I got a bunch of books. Like last week, I got 2.
So these did not come out this week, but I picked these up. I was very happy to find them. I think it is bonkers that you can still get these at cover price because especially these 2 issues. Like those are, like some A+.
Well, and that first one too, where they're facing off.
Yeah, are like great Hughes covers. And
didn't he do one with like Poison Ivy and Harley as well, where they're all like lining up? Like,
yeah, it's Betty and Veronica meet Harley and Ivy or something. I think it's just because like people don't care about the characters as much as like a Catwoman that used overrated. Well, okay, I got issues, whatever. I like them. Yeah.
Pandas are overrated. There's hardly any of them left.
The Sabrina cover is really nice.
Yeah. Rockshank says Die 3 was great. I did enjoy it. I asked John if he had read it. He had not yet. John did read Old Man Quill, NYC.
I got it. Yeah, I got Die right here. I read only 3 books so far. I went all Marvel. Is Immortal Hulk, which was a great end to, I think, everything they've done up to now. And it starts a kind of new story going forward. So I felt like that was a great Immortal Hulk issue. And then I read the Old Man Quill, and I thought it was good. I don't know if it's going to be as great as the other 2 that I've, the Old Man Logan and the Old Man Hawkeye, which I loved both of those in a big way. So we'll see. I got to give it a couple more issues.
Daymare says some Hughes covers are great, some I just don't like. I mean, is there any cover artists that you like 100% of their covers?
That's a good point. I like Art Germ a lot, but there's definitely been ones I skipped.
Yeah.
I think there's some real stinkers he's done myself. I'm actually, I know I'm probably going to get crucified for this. I don't like that new Batgirl cover he did.
The Art Germ.
I'm actually not a fan of the Supergirl covers.
They are very anime-ish.
Which is a little bit of his style, definitely.
Yeah, but you look at his like Catwoman covers and they don't look like that at all.
And I do agree that the style fit more with the Supergirl than with the Batgirl. I don't think Barbara Gordon is that person like Kara's is. Yeah,
and I mean, especially for me coming off the Middleton run of covers, it was just like, I don't know, it didn't live up to those for me because those were like just club banger after club banger. Like, got T-Pain on every single one of those covers.
Some early Art Germ covers he did for DC was the Archie Superheroes, the Mighty Crusaders.
Mm-hmm.
Those were nice covers.
Yeah, he's certainly very talented.
I don't think I saw any of those.
Yeah, you should look them up. They're really nice. Mighty Crusaders.
Nice. I'm little by little, I'm getting that Supergirl run. Some of those I really, really liked. And mostly my daughters, if there's Supergirl holding a cat, we're going to buy it. Like, that's just done right there.
Bake said, what about the Harley cover people are hyping this week? I think it's gross.
I skipped it. Again, I don't buy more than 1 book a week that has just for the cover. I can't allow my brain to wrap around that idea.
Yeah. I don't think I bought. Actually one of my favorite covers this week was Young Justice 2, the variant, the B cover of that. I thought that was a killer cover.
That was a cool cover.
I almost bought it for that, but then I was like, I don't want to own this book.
Yeah. I'm just buying old crap.
That's the way to do it, man. I mean, especially
I got this Sean Murphy Batman. I thought that was a cool sideways.
Yes, that was
horizontal.
That was a no contest pickup compared to the A cover this week for me.
Yeah, so I dug that one. But I was already getting it because I like what Tom King's been doing. So this is a new writer, I guess, for the next few issues. But it was already on my pull, so I was in. You
got me. Hey, Stay Puff. I think you're just catching the tail end of our chat tonight. Yeah, people love Immortal Hulk. Everyone's gaga over that book.
Honestly, it's going to be something people look back on. It's really, really, really solid.
Yeah, I gotta pick up a trade from the library or something. I only bought the first issue.
I don't have to buy them all because of the Ross covers.
Yeah, very nice.
If they hadn't shot up in value, I probably would have started going after on eBay a second run just to have another set.
Yeah, number 2 is going for like $40-50 now.
Yeah, a couple of them have really gone crazy. There's still like my LCS still has 3 of the middle ones that aren't keys on their shelf, like issue 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
But if they were still reasonable, I probably would try to go after a second set. But I think at this point it's done.
Jackie said, I would never buy a title like Supergirl, Batgirl, or Catwoman for the cover. It's ridiculous. Put those artists on good reads. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they put them on books that people wouldn't buy otherwise, because schmucks like me buy them for the covers.
Well, it's true, except I think you're throwing Catwoman under the bus, because Joelle Jones is doing a great job on that book. Writing and doing the art. I do think Catwoman is shockingly underrated as a great read, and I've enjoyed every issue all the way up to now.
Yeah, I said it before. I think she's an underrated artist. I think she's super good.
Yeah. But I haven't heard anybody talk about the others at all as being anything that's worth going after, which is a shame, because I think those characters are. I think Barbara Gordon in particular is a very interesting character and could be done really well.
So this Saturday, we got this guy. We got a John's Comics with Kids, and we got a Comic Books NYC on this guy's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's auction time. And you know what that means? Deals.
Selling stuff.
Deals. And probably impressions, because I turned that into a thing for some reason.
Well, you're good at it.
Well, good at it.
I'm gonna bring some puppetry into this.
Oh, well, now you've made a promise and you have to deliver. So come up with your requests for impressions now so I can work on them for the next few days.
Oh, jeez. That's such a bad idea for this chat, man.
Christopher Walken, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. Can always do Walken. Fire Guy Ryan has already requested Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny. So that's going to be happening.
Yeah,
I'm going to bid $1 million and never pay. Thank you. I got issues.
We're each going to have a bunch of chances to put stuff up. Please feel free to spread the word. Get some people to know this is going down.
Even if you don't want to buy stuff, come hang out, because it's going to be a ridiculous fun time. Gray Matter Hulk says, Chris Farley, you got it, buddy. I will do a Farley.
And what I try to do, just those that follow me on Instagram, I try to post pictures of every book I will have for sale before the auction starts. So you can go through and look and see, oh, I really want that one, or this lot looks really interesting. And you can zoom in and look at corners and all that kind of stuff before the auction starts, so that you're there ready to bid. That book looked right and the price sounds good and I'm ready to go.
Mastodon, it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday night. Right? Yeah.
Chris Barrett, I got your Muppets. Do not worry.
I'll take your lost DVDs. Video previews for auctions are great. Yeah, Comics Misexplained. I know some channels do that. I don't know if we're going to get to that this time, but
honestly, I think the Instagram thing is better. You can look at each book. You know, they're all there. You zoom in on those corners. You can zoom. You can check out pictures way better than you ever can on a camera like this. I think it's very hard to see every auction I've been to on a camera, and I'm on my television set trying to get in there and look. It's way easier on Instagram to just zoom in on a picture and take a look. So I'm going to try to put as many of the books on there beforehand as possible.
Chris Barrett wants Rodney Dangerfield. I'll work on that one.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Comics NYC says, I have a lot of graded books. That's exciting, because I do not. Well, I've got a couple of things I'm trying to move, but mostly I have some runs and some stuff people will be excited about.
I got issues. You talk to me on Instagram. I got issues. We'll figure something out.
But I am trying to save up for a big book. And yet I keep going and buying stupid things like Adam Hughes Betty and Veronica books. But so that will be exciting, an exciting reveal for the channel if I can end up, saving up enough money this year to buy it. For me, at least. I don't know if anyone else will care. I'll be excited. This is my excited face.
That's it. Do you want to let everybody know about what's next week?
Yeah, go ahead. It's going to be on your channel.
Next week on my channel, we are going to review the sequel to this Ed Brubaker book, Criminal. So we're going to be reading Criminal number 2. And a week ago, I believe it was, we were on my channel looking back at our favorite books from January. And I believe Alec mentioned this book at least one time, somewhat liking Criminal.
So the reason why we decided to do an issue number 2 was because there's a second print, you said, of issue number 1 coming out next week as well. So
yes, issue number 1. There's a second printing. You can grab it.
Go home. I got issues.
I found this on my, although I found this at my LCS, and they still had 3 more copies.
Yeah,
of
I saw a number of them out today.
So you could still probably go to your LCS and get issue 1 first printings. They're probably still out there. I had no problem. I just sent a message to my LCS and they pulled one for me.
It was just like another kind of unexciting week, I felt. And I loved that book so much that I'm really excited to talk about it.
And we have as a guest one of the members of the chat this evening, although I don't know if he's still in here, but Comics Misexplained will be joining. He's right there. Good. He's in the chat. He loved this first book as much as Alec, and I'm hoping I will as well.
I challenge that statement.
We'll all dive in next week on my channel to tear up part 2.
I get it. She says next week is a little dull, and I will make it a little more dull. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of encourage people to pick it up because it's great, and I don't think you'll be sorry if you buy both of them. That's not a money-back guarantee. That's just a suggestion. Either you guys have anything else to plug? I know TJ, you're doing your Stranger Things on the 12th.
Yep. On the 12th.
With JD. That's going to be on his channel?
Yes.
And go ahead.
It's on his channel, and I'm not sure, depending what time Thanatos has available, either next week or the week after, and I'll do that big haul video with him.
Oh, very nice. That's been... you did not miss any Discovery Bay. You did not miss any Alec impressions. Those are strictly for auctions. Yeah, I'm excited to see that long-awaited haul video with Thanatos. So hopefully that can be scheduled soon. That's going to be pretty good, I think. And John, I know you got Saturday Morning Comics. Got anything else going on?
Tomorrow night, I'm on with Mr. Bueller. Bueller's on my channel, and we are talking about Lost, everybody. You better buckle up and be ready for that. It is my new monthly series where I'm going to be recapping my rewatch of Lost. In January, I watched 20 episodes. So Bueller and we're going to talk the first 20 episodes of Lost. We're going to break stuff down. We're going to try to answer all the questions you might still have, like, why is a 41-year-old man wasting his time watching 20 hours of a show that's 10, 20 years old?
That he's already seen a bunch of times.
Yeah, why? These are great, emotionally powerful questions. And we will dive into all of that on my channel tomorrow night, the 7th, at 7 o'clock Pacific, Bueller and I. And it's the beginning of a series where at the end of every month, I will let you know what episodes I watched. And I'll see if there's a schmuck that I can trick into joining me to talk about them.
I think Ryan's available.
He basically, he knows which episodes he wants to talk about. So he's like, this is where you're gonna slot me in right here.
I will come on, but only if I can talk about Battlestar Galactica instead. While you talk about Lost.
When we get to that top 5, I'm thinking your punishment will be that you have to eat an Oreo.
Very slowly.
What I should do is I should get copies of Battlestar Galactica, send a set to Matt, and I have never seen it either, and we can both watch it, and then we should do a show on that together.
I would absolutely adore doing that. We can
freaking good.
We can do it as you watch it.
It's got to be streaming somewhere, right?
Hulu. I'm not subscribing to Hulu.
Yeah.
I have the complete. You can't see it. It's way up there on top of here. There, it's right there. See, the complete Blu-ray collection. Definitely worth buying.
I think mine are still DVDs, but they're up here somewhere.
Because I'm taking the Alex word that is really good, so I will buy it.
I hope I don't let you down. Jackie O says Battlestar is the best.
Excellent. It's excellent.
It is very good. If you don't like it, I will be very surprised. It is, it's great.
DS Comics, I'm in. I'm a Quantum Leap nut. At some point, I'm going to get around to Quantum Leap, which I think is wholly underrated at this point in its.
It's so episodic, though. How are you going to do a whole series on that? Like,
I just want to know the end. Did he ever get back?
The last episode says he never returned home.
Okay.
I got it. She says Battletoads is better. That's a
it
different medium.
It implied that Sam made the decision to not go back. That he decided instead to go further in time to fix a mistake for his best friend. Which I'm not going to cry, but that episode makes me bawl every freaking time.
Yeah, True Detective Season 1. Let's do it. Comics Books Explained.
True Detective Season 2.
No, thank you.
I hear the new season's good.
What's that?
I hear the new season's good.
Yeah, I haven't started watching it yet, but it can't be worse than the second season because that was a real stinker.
Well, how could you're replacing McConaughey with Colin Farrell?
The cast was fine.
That's genius, right there, right? Taylor Kitsch, he's a step up, right?
I hear the story was the problem.
Whopped Bird said I'm only watching it at season 2. Recap Full House. Stonecutter Cam says.
Family Matters. It's gonna be thank God it's Friday television.
If we do Family Matters, I'm just gonna make an I Shot a Kid reference like every 5 seconds.
Love a good Die Hard reference.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you got it.
Of course I got it. Are you kidding me?
Are either of you Doctor Who fans?
I've never gotten into it. I always feel like my biggest issue is that show has been around for so long. I can't figure out where to jump in on this thing. I don't want to go all the way back to the 70s and deal with some of those episodes. Like, where do you just dive in on that show now?
Probably the season 1 of the new run.
Which actor was that?
Eccles?
Was that Eccleston?
Yeah.
I got issues. I would absolutely recap Darkwing Duck. I think he is one of the best superheroes.
I was just saying I don't have any problem with the new Doctor, the female. I think she's fine.
Did he just say that Darkwing Duck is one of the greatest superheroes of all time?
Absolutely.
Sorry. TJ, back to you in reality.
He has one of the greatest rogue galleries of anybody. And I will stand by that statement.
You're lucky you're not on my channel. I'd have to mute you.
Watch the chat agree with me. Ready? It's going to start streaming in.
I have all the Darkwing Ducks on DVD, says Daymare. Jeffrey
Comic-Con says yes.
Never seen it.
Jeffrey Comic-Con doesn't even know that we're on live right now. He still thinks we're just talking.
Comics Explained said, let's get dangerous, and takes off the condom. I Got Issues says facts. Thank you, I Got Issues. I agree with Alec. Mastodon Comics and Collecting.
This is not impressive.
Mastodon Comics Collecting said, I agree with Alec. DS Comics, let me down.
Sorry, TJ, you were actually saying something valid about Doctor Who.
Well, there's a lot of backlash against the new Doctor Who, and it's too politically correct and everything, and I had no problem with it. Yeah, I thought it was.
Well, I think the character is always reinventing. Isn't it due for a chance to have a different skin color, a different gender? Like, that's the whole purpose of the character, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it was long overdue, I thought. And this has been a lot of backlash, even though it's one of the highest rated seasons it's had in 10 years. So
Now, when I originally started hearing about it, isn't there a limit on how many times he can reinvent himself? Wasn't there like a cap?
There was, but they retconned that.
Conveniently.
Yeah. So he's unlimited now. Yeah.
Rockshank said, I know we've already moved on a while ago. I was in the other room, but Battlestar is the best show of all time. I would agree. Thank you.
Do they say frack in the new show?
They do say.
You better believe it.
They say it a lot.
Then I'm on board.
That's all it took?
Yes, that's all it took.
And Richard Hatch does appear. Isn't that the actor's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
He does have an important role.
He plays Tom Zarek. And I don't know where it is at the moment. Oh, it's way down there. I'm not picking it up. The Battlestar Galactica board game is one of the best board games of all time.
They made a board game out of the new show?
Yes, it's tremendously good.
Wow.
You laugh all you want, John.
I do laugh a lot. That's why I do this.
The last board game I ever bought was for Dark Shadows.
JD agrees with me. Thank you, JD. I'm dropping truth bombs.
Fraggle Rock recap show.
Board games for poor. My God, she said board games for poor people. Yeah, except for like these board games are $60 plus 4 expansions. So.
Well, Dave Mayers, my wife always spelled board games BORED, so she was not a fan. I grew up playing D&D and all that tabletop stuff, so for me, I was always like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
but
because
not having it.
Because Monopoly is a snooze fest.
Not when you're drunk.
Life.
Game of Life is a grim.
If you Monopoly and you've been drinking, it's not that bad.
Well, I've heard everything's better when you've been drinking.
Not this show.
The Cones of Dunshire is the greatest game of all time.
Wow. Issues going big.
Go. I call Ledgerman.
Yeah, so anyways, I got Bueller on with me on Thursday.
Oh, right. We were talking about things that mattered.
I'm on your channel on Saturday night for the auction. And then what else? I think that's pretty much Saturday morning comics with the girls. I think that's about it.
I think this show is slowly going to evolve into being like, hey, this book came out this week. Now let's talk about something else.
Oh, we got it. It's a riot.
Hey, Comic Books NYC, I didn't say I was leaving yet.
I said you were trying to. I'm trying to leave.
Yeah, okay. Let's get out of here. I'm going to pull my new goodbye, which is, I'm a big old jerk bag. Bye. You guys can say bye, too, if you want.
Oh, we're allowed? I didn't know if you'd actually going to sign us out.
I was looking at that little live button. It's still on.
TJ, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Had a blast with you.
But this is great. This is a lot of fun. And if we were going to talk Daredevil, it would have to be with you. So I'm glad this timed out so well.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. As soon as I heard as soon as we said we're doing Daredevil 101, I said, TJ, let's do it. No other man for the job. So appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. And hopefully we can have you on again soon.
I'd love that. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Now we're really going to leave. Bye.